to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're going to take a moment of silence for all the fallen firefighters of the United States of America.
Mr. Chairman, if I may add something. In 2025, the U.S. Fire Administration reported that there were 73 line of duty deaths in the country. These deaths do not include any cancer-related deaths. So at this time, I'd like to just take a moment to remember the 73 that died.
Please be seated.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I make a motion that we move the awards right up to the front for all of our friends and participants here this evening.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
That'll be our next point of business. The awards,
We have 4 award events and multiple recipients.
before you start, can I just say, it's the coolest thing being on the commission, being able to experience this. So thank you very much for doing this with us. It's terrific. So
It's just a small thing that our people do incredible work, and we can recognize that in a public way and allow people to understand a little bit more about what the fire department does in the community day to day. It's a good thing for everybody. So the first award is the David Russell Exceptional Medical Service Award. This is presented to Lieutenant Mark Goletz, firefighter Justin Crawford, and firefighter Luke Crawford. Fairfield Fire Departments, I'm going to give the narrative of what this award is for so everybody's aware. Fire department units responded to a motor vehicle collision involving multiple patients, including one occupant found unresponsive and without signs of life. Members immediately initiated life-saving interventions, including patient removal, cardiopulmonary resuscitation, and defibrillation, while managing scene safety and coordinating with law enforcement and the ambulance service. The responding personnel operated under adverse conditions, balancing urgent patient care with operational hazards inherent to roadway incidents. Their actions demonstrated a high degree of professionalism, situational awareness, and adherence to training during a critical and emotionally demanding event. Regardless of the ultimate medical outcome, the prompt, coordinated, and skilled actions of the responding firefighters significantly increased the likelihood of survival and reflect an unusual accomplishment under these adverse conditions. These awards meet the criteria for the David W. Russell Jr. Exceptional Medical Service Award, recognizing efforts where death or serious injury to a party is prevented or actively mitigated.
Congratulations, Lieutenant. Congratulations, Justin. Thank you. Luke.
Fine job.
And afterward, if anybody wants pictures, we also have a step and repeat banner. It might be a nicer background. The fire commission meetings are normally in this room, and that's what the Zoom meeting is set up for. So we apologize, but at least we have that if you want a better background. They have it.
The second award is also a David W. Russell Jr. Exceptional Award that occurred on 589 Fairfield Beach Road. We'd like to recognize Lieutenant Michael Ducey, firefighter Matthew Rowan, and firefighter Campo. Multiple Fairfield Fire Department's units responded to a water emergency at Fairfield Beach under challenging environmental conditions. Upon arrival, members encountered an unresponsive individual at the shoreline and immediately initiated coordinated life-saving operations. Despite logistical challenges posed by sand access and equipment transport across the beach, the responding unit operated with exceptional professionalism, confidence, and efficiency. Resuscitative efforts were conducted in a dynamic and public environment requiring composure, teamwork, and adaptability. The patient demonstrated clear signs of recovery prior to transport. The actions of the responding members exemplify effort consistent with the traditions of the fire service and reflect great credit upon the Fairfield Fire Department. The unit's performance meets the criteria for the David W. Russell Jr. Exceptional Medical Service Award, recognizing the actions carried out with confidence, professionalism, all under demanding conditions. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Andrew. Good to meet you.
Don't go anywhere. The next one is also a David W. Russell Jr. Exceptional Medical Service Award for an incident that occurred at 20 Limbrook Road. Being recognized, Lieutenant George Heath, firefighter Chris Dubois, firefighter Drew Campo. Our engine 2 responded to a medical emergency involving a female in active labor. Upon arrival, the crew encountered a rapidly evolving situation requiring immediate intervention prior to the ambulance arrival. Demonstrating exceptional composure, coordination, and clinical judgment, the engine 2 crew initiated childbirth preparations and provided hands-on assistance during the delivery. The crew's calm demeanor and effective teamwork ensured the safe delivery of a healthy newborn under non-traditional and time-critical conditions. Their actions went beyond routine emergency medical response and reflected their exceptional skill, passion, and professionalism. The conduct of Lieutenant Heath, firefighter Dubois, and firefighter Ocampo reflects the highest ideals of emergency medical service and brings credit to the Fairfield Fire Department. Their performance meets the criteria for the David W. Russell Award, and they are recognized for exceptional actions beyond the norm at an emergency medical call, saving 2 lives.
Congratulations, Andrew.
Drew, you can be relieved on this one. We like to keep it a little light when we can. Our last award is also the David W. Russell Exceptional Medical Service Award for an incident that occurred at 1435 Post Road, and the recipient is firefighter Caitlin Pereira. While off duty and dining at a local establishment, firefighter Pereira immediately recognized a medical emergency when an adult female nearby exhibited signs of a complete airway obstruction and was unable to exchange air. With full situational awareness and without hesitation, firefighter Pereira intervened and performed appropriate life-saving measures, successfully relieving the obstruction and restoring the individual's ability to breathe. Firefighter Pereira's actions were decisive, calm, and executed with confidence, reflecting a high level of training and readiness even outside of the formal response environment. Her prompt recognition of critical condition and immediate intervention directly resulted in the preservation of life. Firefighter Pereira's actions exemplified the highest standards of the Fairfield Fire Department, clearly meet the criteria for the David W. Russell Jr. Exceptional Medical Service. Congratulations. Although there are many that contribute daily to positive outcomes in the town of Fairfield, we have a chance to recognize people for events like this. We greatly appreciate the ability to do it, and we appreciate everybody being here to witness. So thank you all. Yeah. You want to do that? I don't have anything.
First select woman. So we have the first select woman here. She has a proclamation that she'd like to give out. So she could, maybe if you would like to read that.
I would. On behalf of the town of Fairfield, I am honored to share this proclamation. The town of Fairfield proudly honors and recognizes resident Dorothea Brennan for her years of dedicated service and outstanding leadership. And whereas Dorothea has been a longtime active, caring member of the greater Fairfield area, she recently finished serving 2 full terms on the town's fire commission. During her tenure, which included serving as chairwoman, Commissioner Brennan provided steady leadership, sound judgment, and thoughtful direction in support of the Fairfield Fire Department and its mission to protect and serve our community. And whereas prior to serving on the Fire Commission, Dorothea had served on the town's Police Commission, Ethics Committee, and Town of Fairfield Arts Council. And whereas outside of Fairfield, Dorothea brought the same enthusiasm and commitment as a volunteer for the International Special Olympics, Bridgeport Barnum Festival, and New Haven Bicentennial. Dorothea also served on numerous board of directors, including Connecticut's Board of Governors for Higher Education, Mercy Learning Center, Beardsley Zoological Gardens, Arts Council of Greater New Haven Boys and Girls Club, New Haven Preservation Trust, and Gaylord Hospital. And whereas a graduate with an MA from Fairfield University School of Corporate and Political Communication, Dorothea has continued to support her alma mater in several ways. She is a respected mentor for the university's Creative Life Residential College, served on the Trustees Advisory Council, Alumni Board of Directors, Open Visions Forum Advisory Board, and Quick Center for the Performing Arts Advisory Council. And whereas Dorothea has earned several awards, some of which include International Association of Facilitators Impact Platinum Award, Connecticut Building Congress Project Team Award, Samuel L. Hawley Award for Public Service, UI's Chairman's Award, Art Council of Greater New Haven's Volunteer Achievement Award, and YMCA of New Haven's Women in Leadership Award. And whereas the town of Fairfield is deeply grateful for Dorothea's exemplary leadership, commitment to excellence, and enduring contributions to all of the communities and organizations she has served. Now therefore, I, Christine Vitale, first select person of the town of Fairfield, do hereby proclaim Thursday, January 8th, 2026 as Dorothea Brennan Day in the town of Fairfield. Appreciation to an exceptional citizen who serves as a role model to us all. A witness whereof, and all of you, I have set my hand and caused a great seal on the town of Fairfield, do hereby be affixed on this 8th day of January 2026. Congratulations, and on behalf of our community, thank you for your service and all you do. That is quite an impressive list. You have given back in so many ways. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn for 15 minutes to allow for a photo op for the people in the other room, and this way we can get it out and then get back to our meeting.
I'll second that. All in favor?
They are.
Falling back to order. I just need an approval of minutes for last month.
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
So we got a lot. We've already made it through some of this. I just wanted to, my only comments or report is going to be introduction of our newest member, Trish Pitko, who comes with a wealth of experience, will be the next Dorothea Brennan, in my humble opinion.
Don't do that.
Lifelong Fairfield resident, was on the Board of Ed for many years, and as a person with a lot of kids in school, was the person we went to like ask questions of when we had questions about the educational system in town. Is an educator herself, very highly educated woman and great mom, great person. So Tricia, welcome to the Commissioner Pitko. Welcome to my report there. We'll go to the chairman. I'm sorry, to the chief.
So let's see, in regard to the budget, we met with the first select woman and the finance staff for the fiscal year 27 operating budget on December 30th. Let's see, we met with the control board of the FCRD to vote on Easton joining, and that was positive. So everything is in the works for Easton joining the FCRD. Headquarters and Station 1 staff met earlier this month with the Fairfield Muslim community. We had a very nice visit and strengthened ties. We filed the local EMS plan with the state, which was due January 1st. We're meeting on January 15th with the Stratford Fire Department command staff. They want to meet with area mutual aid departments to discuss mutual concerns. Let's see, we have a capital projects meeting. We had one December 17th. We have another one January 21. Right now, we're looking at some of those big capital projects like moving the shop from Station 2 to a facility, hopefully somewhere near here, and some other things. So we participated heavily, a bunch of us in the Flagman education presentations in various grade schools here. And the culmination was a press conference with Federal Senator Blumenthal. That's the Slow Down, Move Over program. Members of the RTM requested a tour to be scheduled in the near future. This was helpful in the past for the Board of Finance and the RTM. And I think it, and also the Fire Commission members. So Tricia, well, we'll bring you around next. We did it recently with Mr. DeWitt. Hopefully that'll help, because a lot of times it's, see the picture's worth 1,000 words on that. So they can see the status of our firehouses and our equipment. In the realm of emergency management, we have a tabletop exercise on January 21st, which has about the region and the constant threat of cold weather and its effect on the population. So what local municipalities can do with it to help. So that'll be coming up. And that's the end of my report.
Any questions?
Chairman? Yeah, if I may.
Yes, please.
Capital projects, does the commission usually weigh in on capital projects, or is this a kind of a fire administration?
I mean, they can. We've talked to you before about, some of the conditions in our firehouses and things like that, and we've gotten the green light to, to go ahead, and we would always listen to you if you had any concerns were brought up and all. But it's the things that we have addressed to you in the past about, for example, the situations of our firehouses. We have to do something about Station 4 eventually. We all know about that, and because it was a house built in 1914, I think, and it's we went down there with the Board of Finance, and Caitlin happened to be working there and said, well, here's my bed and here's the bed of the person right next to me. We're like, right next to each other. There's no wiggle room in this place. We need, to modernize our firehouses. This particular plan, which we have on the forefront, is we have to go through the process of getting feasibility studies and plans made. All those early things, but it's about what we talked to you about, moving the maintenance facility from Station 2, which will do two things. It'll give us a state of art, maintenance facility, but it also free up some space at Station 2. There's a lot of projects, and these are things that are on the capital waterfall, which we've worked with, the various, administrations, and also we're excited to at least get moving along. The thing we like about it now is that they have project managers, which can help us, because previously we were the project managers in our spare time, which is ludicrous. But right now they have professional project managers. We have Elias Gazelle, who's an engineer, so he can run the projects for us. So he'll be asking for our input, but he's the one that's going to be working hand in hand with the architects and the engineers and the construction crews and things like that in the future. So we're excited about that. We think that this next decade, or next, hopefully 5, even before that, the next 5 years or so, we'll see a lot of good, improvements to our infrastructure.
It's funny, I read the superintendent's budget message and budget presentation for the schools, and there was a pretty big chunk of cost avoidance in there, especially in special ed, right? And this project came to my mind. Talk about cost avoidance. When I toured the facility or the house, and the gentleman was changing tires, I mean, he was up against the wall, and I'm like, can I help you here? He's like 2 inches away from the wall. And I think there's a huge cost avoidance there by moving this. Everybody wants to focus on, it's $500,000 to build a building. Guess what? There's a cost avoidance of $1 million, right? So we should really think about that. And that sparked when I read the commission, the superintendent's budget, I thought of that one project. So
For your support.
Other questions for the chief? Deputy chiefs?
I'll go into the operations one. Instance of note, we had a building fire at a restaurant on the Post Road Saturday morning. So that did wonders for traffic. Fortunately, they were able to keep the damage minimized to one area. I think they were closed a day or two before they were able to get back open. We had a chimney fire over on the other side of town, which had some burns to the occupant who was in the house as they tried to deal with the situation instead of calling 911 in a timely manner. So we had that to deal, small fire from a handheld appliance, which actually exploded in their hands. I don't know whether or not it was a lithium ion type battery or something, but whatever it was exploded in their hands and caught their room on fire. So it's always like we tell people, have working smoke detectors in place and make sure you call 911 right away. Dumpster fire, a couple vehicle fires, and one appliance fire. I'll touch on trucks a little bit. You know, the 3 are ordered. The committee's getting together hopefully next week. We're trying to visit a couple of area departments to look at some conceptual stuff to help streamline us through our process to make sure that we get the absolute best vehicle for us. When you build a truck like that, there are so many things to look at. And you're trying to build something that we're going to have 4 years from now. So there's a lot of thought that goes into it. The crew that's put together is, very diverse, and they have a lot of different backgrounds, and they're doing a tremendous job with that. I was going to talk about the capital projects. We met with them. We're working on that. That's part of our station, things that we're working on, trying to upgrade the stations a little bit and keep everything flowing until we can get some real fixes going on in these stations. And the other thing, operational, we've started our EMT recertification process. That's a big undertaking for the entire department. So all 100 members have to cycle through here. We get 20 hours of training per year, keeps us part of our CMEs going. So accomplish something where we're able to get them down here uninterrupted to get some real good training. No.
Clearly it pays benefits since there were 4 medical awards given tonight.
Yeah.
It's a significant amount of what we do.
We put our people against anybody. They're really good.
Just because I was actually Christmas shopping, and is there an update on the TJ Maxx and their sprinkler system?
Yes.
Thank you for discovering that and for the fire watch delivered.
That was our fire prevention division that found that. Yeah, the actual sprinkler system wasn't connected.
I couldn't believe that. When
So
Kind of Bluetooth, one of the pipes.
just a space. And then they were operating with that, but because of the fire prevention division they found it, and they worked with the building owner to come up with a solution to keep them still operating and still provide a safe environment for the public. So
it allowed me to do some last minute shopping.
it's a very heavy lift for our people because someone has to be there all the time. So it's our people are really stepping up and taking care of that.
Questions for?
Yeah, were we able to bill the customer for that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would just like to add that one of the main reasons I wanted to join this commission is I have a child with severe medical needs, and you guys have come and resuscitate my child back to life 5 times.
Wow.
So I really appreciate that. And I know that the firehouse knows my child by her first name.
You should.
Any other questions for Deputy Chief Barry?
Most of mine was already done with the presentation of our recognition awards. I would also like to touch on the OSHA case that we had with our surprise inspection. We have narrowed all of the citations down to the one left that we're fulfilling now, which was some of our turnout gear was past its expiration date. Through the budgetary process, we were able to get the funding to do that, as you were aware in the past, but we're now executing on the purchasing of that and distributing that equipment. So that will be the end. They'll be able to close that case as soon as we're able to accomplish that goal, which is occurring.
As we speak.
Any questions for Deputy Chief? Sir, Norma, you're with us?
I am, and I'm unmuted. Shall I proceed?
Please do.
Anyway, hello, everyone, and again, congratulations to Dorothea. Well deserved. The only major activity that CERT has had since the last meeting was were asked mutual aid from Shelton. So our CERT team went up there and helped with the Toys for Kids program. We had 16 CERTs who volunteered to do that. And it was December 18th, 19th, and 22nd for a lot of hours, but they were glad to participate. It's a program that's worthwhile and they enjoy. And of course, coming up soon is our CERT training. So if you all know of anyone who may be interested in that, just let me know. And there'll be publicity out shortly. I think the first select person's letter already had some information about that. Thank you very much. That's it.
Thank you. Any questions for Norma? And thank you for everything you're doing. I witnessed it, as I said, at SantaCon last week, but just you guys are always out there and you're out there in force and just making things run more swimmingly. So thank you.
And thank you.
Southport volunteer. Anyone here from Stratfield volunteer? Okay, local 1426.
Good evening, welcome to the new commissioners. Apologies to the rest of you that have to listen to me again. So it's a couple of things right off the get-go. I'd like to say that Chief Kaysen mentioned it, but Chief Barry, sorry. This is the first time it's been under this administration that we've had real EMT training. We've always done it on duty with trucks that were here. We do 10,000 calls a year. We don't sit for long periods of time. So you would come into these trainings and you would miss at least, if you were lucky, a third of it, most of the time, closer to half of it by going in and out to calls. They've got coverage and we're dedicated to that training now. It is 66% of what we do. If you went back through these awards, that's what you're gonna see the most of is life-saving there, because that's where we get to make the most difference, because it's the most calls we go on. So I'd like to thank the administration for that. We have had a rough go of it since the last commission meeting. I wasn't here, so I apologize. We lost a member to suicide. We're still dealing with the ramifications of that. That's something that will go on here for a long time. Commissioner Ozaki mentioned the 71 firefighters who had passed away, excluding cancer. That also excludes PTSD and the mental health problems that are well documented in this profession. Cancer is killing us like crazy. Hopefully, as we design these new stations, we'll do things to mitigate that. The new turnout gear, we're still struggling to find it without PFAS. I don't think that's going to happen in the time that I'm still working here. So people think of the cancer that comes to get us as, hey, smoke and this and that. We're wearing the cancer. Again, apologies to the people who've heard me go on and on about this, but firefighting is listed as a 1A carcinogen. Firefighting is the same as smoking, is the same as benzene. We're listed in the same group on an international level as cancer. Me, him, her, because it's not going to be fixed in time for them. Those guys up there, we're gonna get cancer. It's just when we're gonna get it. There's no way out of it. We look back now knowing what we know. I've got pictures of my kids dressed up in my gear. I don't know what I did to them. Dennis Iannati, who's been here, his son had cancer, and Dennis struggled with it, thinking that he might have had something to do with it. We used to put our gear right in our car with everybody. You put your groceries in the same place as it, and now you would look at that. We look at that the same way as you look at a pregnant woman walking down the street smoking cigarettes and drinking. Right? You're like, what are you doing? Why would you do that?
They didn't know any better, and now we know better, but there's no way out for us because we don't have a solution. So hopefully as we build these new stations, we'll do some of the things that can help to mitigate that. Negative pressure in the gear room, our gear just sits out there. So that trucks have gotten better. We've got exhaust systems in to try and take in the exhaust. Diesel exhaust was a big problem too. The old Station 1, the ceiling was black from the exhaust. We were just living in that hole out there for a year. We were out at least 9 months of the year. We ate and lived on the apparatus floor while the kitchen was getting fixed. You'd never do that again today, not with what we know. I didn't know that everyone was going to be here this month. So next month, I'm going to give a warning for the rest of you so you can skip it. But I'll be presenting our manpower study to you. It's a GIS study. It's updated constantly by the IFF. It's a breakdown of the town. It shows you what we need and what we can do. The number one thing that protects firefighters on the fire ground is firefighters. And I'll take a much longer presentation. Yeah, so you can draw it. It's an important part of what we do. We're in negotiations. We have a number of grievances going on. That's a normal course of business for us. So that's what we do. I'd like to take a minute to recognize Joe Reynes. He's here, and he doesn't know that I'm going to do this, so he's going to be mad at me that he showed up. But Joe went away on his own time, out of his own pocket, down to Jamaica as part of Team Rubicon, which was to help do disaster relief down there. And Joe's been deployed by them how many times so far? 10. And there's no one better to do it because Joe can do anything. And I've leaned on Joe a lot in the 25 years that I've been here, and he continues to be a great person. Not here tonight is Assistant Chief Eric Caliper, who was a longtime Vice President of the union, who also handled all of our insurance stuff, all of our pension stuff, and essentially was a co-president along with me for the past 6 years. We're going to miss him a lot for what he does. He didn't retire or anything. He's just stepping away from the union for now. And we're trying to bring up the next group of people. So if he was here, I'd like to say thank you to him too. On the bad side again, talking about all the things that have been going wrong. Corinne here had her house set on fire.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So we've tried to rally around Corinne as well, but the hits keep coming for us. So hopefully things are going to take a turn for the better. Any questions?
So just a comment, the
Yes.
gear that we did just buy is made without PFAS.
Yeah,
So we take some steps towards that.
Yeah, it's moving in the right direction. We're finding that, and Caitlin might be able to speak to it better because she's part of our team that's on our class action lawsuit. But even they're not making it in PFAS-free facility.
They'd have to retool everything. No, I know completely.
Yeah, so it's just a contamination factor, right? So when, like, PFAS free isn't really a thing because essentially you'd have to like knock everything down and build all machinery. So it's PFAS light for lack of a better term. The conflict there is how much time without PFAS can withstand a flashover, which is when a room hits 1100 degrees and everything catches on fire. There's what we call a TPP rating and hope that it's a minimum of 35, which would give you 18 seconds to get out. So it can be harder without the PFAS, and it's also about repelling the hydrocarbons, right? Like if you're on the highway to car accident and there's diesel spill, we want to make sure that that's not, getting on our gear, soaking in, and then we become flammable. But there's a lot of very, very, very smart people working on the gear, right? The problems that existed previously and how to move forward in a successful manner to keep everybody as safe as possible. And as Bill was stating, to make sure that, while there are carcinogens in the environment that we're a part of, that we're also not wearing them or bringing them home to our families.
So gear is a little bit like, to a lesser degree than fire trucks. I don't know if it's been brought up here before, but fire truck companies have all been bought by private equity. They're all owned by the same people. So they've killed the competition. They've slowed down production. That's why, what did they tell you for a truck?
3 to 4 years.
Right? It's a big problem. They've been up in front of Congress trying to do something about this, but we're stuck because there's no one else who makes it. We can't, there's not some independent mom pop place that just starts building fire trucks. And if they did, then private equity would buy them too and they'd be pulled into the lot. Here is the same thing. Both myself and Caitlin sit on NFPA committees. The NFPA, for those of you who don't know, is the governing body of the fire service. It sets the industry standards for everything. The people that are involved that are the manufacturers. It goes through everything because the NFP touches so many things. You have engineers, salespeople, everybody has a seat at the table in there. So there's a lot of stuff that goes back and forth. And the big part of fighting the gear was the manufacturers have a seat at the table. So every time we would come in and say, hey, this is giving us cancer, they would walk in and say, no, it's not, it's fine, there's nothing wrong, it's all in your head. And we'd be going back and forth. We finally they've come around to finally admitting what they're doing. So the International Association of Firefighters had a lawsuit going against the NFPA because they wouldn't remove the PFAS requirement from the gear. But it's a fight we're having all the time. As far as the stations, that'll be the last part of this. Coming from the Board of Ed. At Station 4, if that was part of the Board of Ed, they wouldn't let mops get stayed there. If that's where they collected all their mops, they would be like, I won't put my mops in that dump. I'd like to place blame on somebody, but since I've gotten here, they've told me that Station 4 was temporary, we're fixing it. That's 24 years. It goes through a life cycle. It goes, we're gonna fix it. We might move it. We're gonna put it in the waterfall. No, we're gonna fix it. Maybe we're gonna move it. Let's not put any more money into it because it's gonna go down. It's just this never ending cycle of nothing. I was hired as the third person for the position back in 2001. When they built the room where the officer was gonna go, they said, this is just temporary. The room didn't meet code. It was just a wall. And they said, we're gonna just be here for a little while. That was a quarter of a century ago.
Does the state or the federal government have rules and regulations about firehouses?
All workplaces, are covered under OSHA.
OSHA, yeah.
That's it. Any questions?
Any questions for Bill?
Well, I got thousands of them, but we won't.
I have a lot of faults, but not being honest isn't one of them, so ask away.
I'm right there with you, so.
Donations.
Mr. Chairman, there are 3 donations in the package this month. Stephen and Rita Wetzkoff for $100. Nancy Dolan, Maria O'Day for $50. Fairfield Colony, $27,500. And there was also 2 thank you letters included in the package.
Move to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, terrific. Good job, Colony. 27, that was 25 was it last year? Good, keep it going up. Any old business? Twice. Any public comment? Any comments on the public? Anybody out there?
See anyone?
We go into executive session for personnel matters. And anybody not necessary for the personnel matters could be excused.
Second that, yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, going to executive session. No motions were made, no votes were taken. We're now back in public session. Motion, what was the date?
17th, I believe.
February 17th.
Corinne, was that
Sorry, what was the-
seventeenth?
What was the date?
February 17th.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so I moved that we extend the sick leave for the firefighter whose matter was discussed in executive session to 2/17, subject to her providing either the chief or HR as is done in the normal course of business, the medical documentation discussed.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm gonna abstain.
Okay.
Yes.
The ayes have it.
Bill, can you write that out? Yeah, you did a great job.
We're almost done here. Let's close to here. Consider an act on any other business which shall probably come before this meeting. Any other business?
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. All right. All right.